Welcome to KIllco. My name is Brian, and you made it. It's Friday afternoon. Things are, they are. I don't want to say I'm taking a note from Rock Gut because I'm not really. I don't even know I'm doing this, to be honest. But I have been very aware that I have a number of different whiskeys that I don't particularly like. I bought them, I tried them, and they just kind of sit there and don't do anything and just stare at me. So the idea for the evening here is to try a bunch of these whiskeys that I don't particularly like and try to figure out what I don't like about them. I picked all of them that were scotches. I thought about throwing in peated stuff. I didn't. But they're all very similar. They're all something people know the name of. Mr. Whiskey Shits. Hello. I'm testing something out tonight to see. I have the YouTube comments stream, whatever this is. Everyone who's talking will say, I have it on the side here, and there's a noticeable delay between when I see it and when it actually happens. It's a little side experiment, which I figured I should try. To start, and also welcome. Did I say welcome? I assume I did. Memory problems. To start, I will show off what I am sampling and what I am not liking-ish. Do I hate it? No. Would I not buy it again? I probably wouldn't. I know some of these are gifts and stuff, so a lot of them I didn't actually buy to begin with. And there are 5. I don't know why I decided to pick 5 whiskeys. It's just a reason to have 5 whiskeys on a Friday after what we will politely call a very interesting week. All of you know why, who are currently watching. I don't need to tell you, but it's in the air, I'll say. There's a feeling in the air of, I'll have a drink. JJ, happy Friday. Welcome. Welcome. I'm trying to decide which way I want to pour these. I have 5 glasses lined up here. You can't see them. They're right about here. Camera, there we go. I'm going to pour them, cap them, and then kind of go through them in the nicest way possible because, again, these are all whiskeys I don't particularly enjoy. I also accidentally ate something that has slight spices to it earlier, so that's a no-no. But oh well. I'll show you what they are. That's what I was going to do. I hadn't decided on which order I'm going to show them. As if that matters. All right, here's the first one. Glenrothes Bourbon Cask Reserve. Rothes? Whatever. But this is one that was suggested. I couldn't decide what I wanted to buy, and the guy who was at the store was like, hey, maybe this. And I picked it up, and I bought it, and, tried it. As you can see, I drank so much of it. I don't know what it is I don't particularly like about it, since I haven't had it in so long, but I know it was just kind of But what makes me sad is these are all scotches, but I wanted to stay similar. Part of me said I should pour all of these before I start the stream, but I didn't do that. Yeah. Again, only pouring a little of each. Because, again, I don't like these. And cap. This one I already smell weird fruit notes out of. That was unexpected. This one was way in the back. You can't really tell, I don't think, but there are spaces. There's empty space where things are in the Scotch area. So whatever. Next on the list of what I don't particularly like, but I own and have to do something with. So, this little beauty. Johnny Walker Blender's Batch. Wine cask blend. Not great. I also should point out that these are all 40% except for one. The last one I'm going to pour here is going to be 43%. Does that make a huge difference? Probably not. So this is Johnny Walker's Blender's Batch, whatever the heck this thing is. I bought it because it looked neat. It was probably cheap on sale. And I like Johnny Walker in general. It's not something I don't like. Oh, this is the delay again. Hello, Barn Door, although I haven't seen your actual chat yet. Good evening. Yeah, I don't want to. I'm trying to pour so little because I have to finish these probably over the course of the evening, not all at once during the stream. But yeah, this is number 2 where I got it, tried it, and was like, meh, not great. I was hoping it would just be kind of a fruitier Johnny Walker, but it is not. Not even close. From memory, that is. Let's see, that's 2. I posted on Instagram earlier what they all were just so I would remember, because I have problems memorizing stuff. Where is the next one? There's one. Oh, there they are, in front of my face. I'm actually going to double check my Instagram right now because my brain doesn't want to work at the moment. It's going, isn't it that one you left right there? And I'm going, yeah, it is. Isn't it? Isn't it? Isn't it? I don't know. And if anyone's wondering, that song is still stuck in my head from, I don't know how long ago. Last week? I've had a song stuck in my head for days. Probably a full week. Probably since Sunday. It's not going away, and I don't know why. Doesn't help that I keep watching it. Ah, there we go. So, boop, boop, boop. This is one that's controversial because it's Dalmore 12. And everyone's supposed to like Dalmore because look at that. It's nice. It's pretty. But for whatever reason, I've tried this Dalmore and more than once, I might add. You know, there's a little more. There's some gone, a little bit. But it's not something I go looking for. That's not something I particularly like. So, pour just a smidge. Trying to pour like half an ounce, if that. Because I'm pouring 5 of these and I don't need to get inebriated. That is not the goal. Seems like a mistake is having a lot of whiskeys you don't like and then getting drunk off them. Bad idea. Don't do it. Next is these 2. We have a Dewar's 12. These are all actually, well, not all of them, but they're name brandy stuff, and it feels like scotches that people are supposed to get into early on, which is probably why I bought them to begin with. But honestly, I don't remember why I bought them. Dewar's 12. I don't think I really dislike this one, but it's also just one that's been sitting on the shelf, and it's right there. So it's not something I'm reaching for. And also, I don't remember how much it cost. So there's that. I don't trust these corks. I mean, that's how long it's been. Ooh, that was a little more than I wanted. It's fine. All right. So Dewar's 12. Blended Scotch whiskey. I'm certainly not a malt snob, I'll say that. Married in oak casks. Again, I don't remember what I dislike about this. And the most controversial one ever. It's not that controversial to me, but some people may get up in arms. The Macallan 12. And that looks like I've drank a good chunk of it, but all I did was have 1 or 2 pours, and I think I poured some for my dad in a flask to let him try it. The last thing I remember is I didn't particularly like it. I don't know why. Crafty God 77, hello, welcome. Dan Hayes, welcome. I don't know why I didn't see those earlier. There's a delay. I'm learning. There is a delay in which people type in which I actually see it. I have to keep this up over here. But yeah, Macallan 12. Don't particularly like it. This is a Highland single malt, which you'd think I would like, but I didn't know. Last I checked, not great. Matured exclusively in hand-picked sherry-seasoned oak casks from Jerez, Spain for richness and complexity. And this is the only one that's 43%. Everything else is 40%. And this is supposed to be a very fancy whiskey. Very fancy. So fancy. I just need to try to keep the memory of what I just poured and in which order. Each Glencairn has a different logo on it. That's the only way I actually keep track of anything. So don't worry. You may not know what I'm pouring. I'll try to say what I'm drinking if I remember, which I might not. And actually, the Macallan 12 and the Dalmore are usually just sitting in the box. That's how often I don't try them. Oh, wait, I forget. I'm doing StreamYard. I can Make it so I can see what's happening. Easier to read. Yes, that is the great dilemma with many a Scotch is the price tag, and especially with Macallan, it's always kind of hyped up. I won't say don't give it a shot at a bar. Like if you had a bar and you're like finally just looking at the Macallan bottle, thinking, well, might as well try it. That's the best way to do it, even if it is a bar, even if the bottle's been open for a while, because I wouldn't recommend buying a whole bottle, but that's just me. I have not had a horrible experience. I've just found I don't like it. I'm going to go right to left, left to right, whichever way. My right, possibly your left. I'm not sure. And I'll try to figure out what I don't like. This is the tiny bottle Glen Rother's bourbon thing. Ah. I imagine with all of them, it's going to be that weird funk, which I have yet to figure out what it is. And it's why I don't like it. I don't know why. Yeah, it's fruity, but it's also musty. The way I've said it in many videos before is that it smells like I've gone into an old cellar. And it has that kind of musty, old, damp kind of air. Why I get that only on scotches or single malts, I don't know. I actually got it on the recent review I did with, where is it? Oh, it's right here. Tyre Connell. I tried a single malt Irish, and I got a similar weird funkiness. Is it because it's single malt? I don't know. It's a weird thing. Yeah, that too. That was another reason for me to try these. It's just out of curiosity. Being, I've had these bottles for at least a year, and I barely touched them. So I have to wonder why. I've wondered that too. I've often thought sherry cask finish might give me a weird funk. And if I did that, it was completely by accident. But this first one, which I'm getting kind of the fruit notes off of, I don't think it was finished in sherry anything, because it just says bourbon cask reserve, Speyside single malt whiskey. I think it was just finished in bourbon casks. I know the last one, the Macallan 12, certainly is, and the Johnny Walker Habba Dabba Dabba wine thing. I don't know what the hell they did with that, but it's a weird one, to say the least. I should keep these close at hand, but I'm running out of room to put things. That's another reason I want to think about what I can drink and not drink. There. I'm trying to keep these on hand in case I have to grab them. Now, the first one isn't sherry. The second one, I got to keep them in order, too. I'm already forgetting. Oh. Wow. I have a feeling that's the Johnny Walker wine thing. Oh, my gosh. It's reminding me of paint thinner. Mike Myers, cheers. And yes, it is finally Friday. Finally. This has been quite a week. We won't say why. It's just everybody knows. Let's see if this is... I can't quite tell which is which. Ugh. That one is definitely not good for me. It just smells, as I said, kind of like paint thinner. There's nothing really nice about it. I'm trying to remember which one it is because I poured them so fast. I'm losing track already. Why am I doing this? Why am I doing this? Just to see, right? That's terrible. Terrible. I've also lost track of which is which. I don't know if that's the Dalmore or the... Hang on. One quick way to try to figure it out. It's kind of hard to tell through the bottle. But I think I went Glenrothes, then this one, then Dalmore, then Dewar's, and then Macallan. So right now I'm confusing this one and the other one I didn't like, Dalmore. Oh gosh. No, hold on. To verify. No, I don't get it. You know, I got the Dalmore mostly for well, what's his face? Many of you know who he is. Oh. I think he's used the word baby sick before, and he's very flourishy. Why can't I remember his name now? He's got a good mustache. I know that much. His name begin with P? Pop something. And he just won an award recently. I should know these things, but my brain doesn't keep information well. I don't even know what to call him. The Dalmore guy. Dalmore guy. Where's the Dalmore guy? Richard Patterson. I was thinking of his last name. Welcome, Jason Busey. Yeah, Dalmore. Dalmore 12 is literally reminding me of him. I've heard him say baby sick once in his like reviews of something, and that stuck with me. And now it seems like Dalmore is that's all I smell. It just smells like bleh to me, which sucks because I'd like to enjoy Dalmore. I only have this one bottle, so it's not like I've tried a bunch of them. And I'm open to trying a 15 or whatever, but so far there's just too much weird funkiness for some of these. I've heard good things about cigar malt, and probably overpriced. Yeah, it's pretty common. All right. Whoa. Right now, the two that are giving me the most unpleasant smell is the Dalmore 12 and the Johnny Walker wine cask finish blend thing. Moving on. So this is probably the least offensive one, is the Dewar's 12. I'm sorry if I keep looking behind me, but I keep forgetting which is which. Yeah, this one has a little bit of that kind of funk. Some call it a malt funk. I don't know if that's exactly it. It may just be a thing with malting that I smell that I don't like. Yeah. This isn't too bad, thankfully. This is very, you know, I know it's a Scotch, and it has that weird mustiness to it, but not anything like those other two. Box raisins. I like the sound of that, and I don't even like raisins that much. There's still that weird funky note to this. Something about Scotches, man. I don't understand it. And these are mostly, well, hold on. Before I say that, I want to get to the last one. Same thing. They all have this weird funk to them, which I wish I could describe better than it smells funky or musty, or, you know, smells like walking into an old cellar. Another good one I've heard is wet laundry, you know? Oh, it's so weird. Why do I have to get that out of all these Scotches in such an obscure, random sort of way? I feel like I need to talk to Roy and be like, Roy, help me. What's wrong? What is this? Why do I not like this? Save me. But yeah, so I'll try to give you an idea here. You know, my desk is not for looking at. It's a mess. But I have 5 glasses here. And this one is the I already forgot the name. Glenrothes. Then I think the Johnny Walker. Then the Dalmore. Then, it's funny, the camera doesn't make it look like I'm moving that much. Then the thing. Then the Dewar's, which is the least offensive out of all of these. Then the Macallan 12. All of them have this weird, funky note, but 2 and 3 here have the worst of it, where they just smell unpleasant, like very unpleasant, to the point where I'm kind of thinking, I don't really know if I want to drink this. It smells terrible. I imagine the taste will be different. I haven't looked back on my reviews, so I have no idea what I thought about these originally. But we're going with the Glenrothes first. And really, this is an excuse to drink a lot of whiskey, to be clear. Hold on, let me do a comparison here with the Glenrothes and Dewar's 12. These two seem pretty closely related. Yeah. The Dewar's 12 has more of a punk smell than the first one. I guess I should line these up on which I dislike the most. We'll try that for the evening. Right now, the least offensive one officially is probably I want to say the Glenrothes. And funny enough, that one's had a bourbon finish. So there you go. Leaning towards bourbons, are we? Well, raised in America. But I definitely got into whiskey officially through Scotch. So that's why I think I have so many Scotch bottles to begin with. I even thought about grabbing some of the Heidi ones, the ones that are guarded by the dragon there. But those are mostly Game of Thrones stuff. And I generally like most of those. Bleh. But there's like one of them I don't like. So that's something to do eventually, because I do have 3 or 4 of those. I don't have the whole collection because that would cost a lot of money. But I have sampled. I did grab the ones I wanted to. I think there's maybe one I missed. I think I got Stark, Lannister, Night's Watch, and then one other. The Fish. I forget what the Fish people were called. And that was the one I didn't like that much. I'm dreading this. Let's be clear. And I don't know how the Rocket Review does this kind of thing where he goes, I'm going to drink something I don't like. Because for me, it's just, I do it as a joke, officially. Like, I still have stuff I don't like more probably in the freezer. I have at least 4 or 5 or 6 different mini nips that I could drink that don't taste good, I imagine. But these officially are supposed to be scotches. They're supposed to be technically drank neat, I would hope. But most of these are fine. We got 2 that are great, 2 that are fine, 2 that are just blah, and then the one at the end, which is Macallan 12, which is in the middle. It's not too bad, not too good. Was it Greyjoy? It might have been. But again, those are all scotches. And that was a big old thing. Okay. I don't want to get these confused. That's my biggest concern right now. As long as I have them lined up like this, I'm okay. And everyone watched me pour them, but I'm already forgetting what I did. Some of these are really bad, I gotta say. How? Why? I mean, it's not as bad as once I smell it a little over and over again. But my first initial rush on what I believe is the Johnny Walker one is basically it smells kind of like paint thinner or that stuff you use to remove nail polish. It's got that kind of smell. Not great. Not great. And that's one of their experimental ones, which is why I understand. It's a wine thing. And what bothers me, I think, about it is that they don't even give you much info. All right. I'll give you the blender's notes for this so you know what I'm talking about. Johnny Walker Blender's Batch, Wine Cask Blend. Wine Cask Blend. It doesn't say finished. Blended Scotch whiskey. Blender's note. An experimental blend of grain and select malt whiskeys, including some mature and wine casks, light and vibrant, with notes of orchard fruit and red berries. No. No. I don't like the idea of it calling grain and select malt. Does that mean it's a grain blend? Like grain whiskey and then scotch, and then they did something with wine? Because that wouldn't surprise me. Serving facts. Oh, that's nice to know. Please recycle. Oh, I can do that. Experiment number 6. That's all they say. It's experiment. It certainly smells like an experiment. Not a great one. Yeah. Yeah, I don't remember if I got the fish or something else, and I don't want to dig back there to get it at the moment. But I will do that eventually. I'll have some kind of lineup where I do all the Game of Thrones stuff. It was done by the Try channel recently, I think. They did a bunch of those. That's something I've been thinking about doing, but it was on the need-to-do list. Because I want to make it a video, but I'm not going to. Much like this. I could have made this a video. No, that's a lot of editing and time. It's much easier this way. I just take it, an hour and a half, an hour and 50 minutes, whatever the heck it's going to be, and ponder live. Okay, number 3. I haven't tasted one of these yet because I'm scared of it. Oh my gosh. No. No. Bleh. Why? I feel real bad because this is supposed to be Richard Patterson's one, his whole Dalmore thing. And he's supposed to be this, guy who knows many things about whiskey and very theatrical with the way he introduces people to whiskey, as I've seen on the YouTubes. If you haven't watched it, go ahead and do that at some other time because he's funny. He's got a pretty good mustache. But, this is just... I want to say it smells like ink. Other than I know, let's be clear. I've never actually had to deal with a child getting sick all over me, but I can imagine. I know what getting sick is like. I can imagine that. But honestly, yeah, there's like this sickly note, like a bile kind of thing, and ink, which is really bizarre. And almost spoiled fruit or something like that. It's just not, it's not doing it. I don't know why Dalmore is like my rival, my enemy right now. It's just, of all the things I could dislike, Dalmore 12 was not what I really expected it to be, clearly. I don't remember why I even bought it. Probably because it was Dalmore 12. You know what I did almost do? Story time. I saw at a nearby liquor store a sample pack of Dalmore stuff. It was like vials, like 4 of them. And I've considered buying that, except for the fact that Dalmore 12 is so off-putting to me that I'm almost afraid to try anything else they've done, just because of how much I don't like the smell. I don't know why I don't like the smell so much, but from these just smelling notes I'm getting, or nosing notes, whatever, it's ugh. It literally repulses me, which is weird. And to be clear, the Johnny Walker blendy thing is not much better. I put them kind of on the same level. Yeah, this one's nothing. This one's easy. This one is simply a Scotch, but it is certainly what it says it is, I think. Hang on. Yeah. Dewar's blended Scotch whiskey, aged 12 years. So it's a blended Scotch. I probably got this for less than $40 in all likelihood. This one feels like it would be a good mixer thing, or maybe Scotch and soda kind of deal. That'd be fine. But as just a pour, it's not doing much for me. And it is Said married in oak casks. Where's the tell me the thing. Tell me what I want to know, bottle. Tell me the things. I think it's a Speyside. I'm almost certain it is, but I feel like if I'm certain of anything, then I'll definitely be wrong. Because that's how my brain works. Perthshire, Scotland. I don't even know where that is. Which doesn't say much because I don't know much about Scotland in general. Oh, I forgot the thing. This is how good I am at making sure that people know this. There we go. There it is on the bottom of the screen now. Someone correct me. Is Dewar's a Speyside? Is it a Speyside? I feel like it is. But it doesn't just say something. Single malt and grain whiskies. Whatever. God, this song's still stuck in my head. It's driving me absolutely crazy. See, that's one of those things I don't know, Jason. I wouldn't be surprised. This one definitely is, but it feels weird to say. Well, not weird, but you get so used to the idea of something being single malt and Scotch whiskey and that kind of thing that you see in movies a lot. Whenever I see something that's blended, there's nothing bad about it. Like Johnny Walker Black is a blend. There's plenty of blends out there I probably like. But for whatever reason, this one just isn't anything that impresses me. It's fine, but I feel like it would be actually quite a nice bottle. I got stuff here on the back. What I'm forgetting is it a Speyside at the moment? This is why I can't play Roy's games. I don't remember things. My brain don't work so good. Yep. Oh, okay. Thank you, Dan Hayes. That's why it's nice to have people around who knows things, because I forget things. And it's not like I did any research. Undisclosed location, huh? Or undisclosed distilleries? That's weird. That does seem to, you'd think they'd want to have credit for their product, but if they don't, I don't know. That's fine. As I said, I think Dewar's is fine, but I feel like it would be good for Scotch and soda rather than to sipping. And look, I've already been on for 30 minutes. I haven't had a sip. That's how much I don't like these. Oof. Gosh. Why? All right, we're going to compare the Dalmore and the Macallan at the moment, as long as I haven't gotten them confused. God. What is that? Whatever that sickly kind of gross smelling thing I'm getting out of the Dalmore, there's a little bit of that in the Macallan 12 as well. Now here's a question. Is Dalmore finished with anything? Tell me a bottle. Well, it's a Highland Scott malt. Yeah, okay. Was it finished? Tells me nothing. Wow. I feel like it wasn't. Kergellicky, Oldmore, Macduff, Royal Brackla. All likely endures. Wow. Well, I have to say, out of most of these, Dewar's is coming out on top thus far, other than the Glenrothes, which is right here, which does say Speyside. Speyside single malt Scotch whiskey, bourbon cask reserve. What that means, I'm not quite sure. I am having a little bit of a problem with this cork, though. It's very loose. It makes me nervous. Feels loose. I don't know if it really is. It's making me nervous. Okay, I've delayed for 30 minutes because I really don't like the smell of most of these. I will start with the one I like. I'll start with the two I seem to like the most as far as the smell goes, and that's not saying a lot. Let's be clear. This is the Glen blah blah blah. I always say Glen. Is that right? Glen Rothers? The Glen Rothers. Right here. Smells a little fruity. It's reminding me of... It does have that weird funk, which I still don't know exactly what that is. I wish I knew. But it's not bad. It's not the kind of funk where I'm going, oh gosh, that's horrible. Like these two, which are supposed to be the fancy scotches, which is the weird part. Pretty bland, honestly. A little peppery at the end. There's a weirdness there, though. I wouldn't say it's bad, but this is something that, again, feels like it would be appropriate in a scotch and soda, which I do like. Scotch and sodas are fine. And it's probably the only way I'm going to drink the rest of these. Ugh. All right. Glen Rother's not so bad. Not very impressive, but not so bad. Oh, gosh. Well, welcome, Marshall. I hope you will join us if there's time. I know I'm going for another hour and a half-ish at the moment or so, because I believe Trev is going live next, because that's the thing that's the thing that happens every Friday. It's me, then Trev, then ADHD Whiskey, I think. I'm double checking because I forget things a lot. Bah. Song's still stuck in my head, by the way. Well, I did see a thing, so I'm going to assume Trev's going live after me, and then ADHD Whiskey later this evening. That tends to be the so-called norm. I'm just the pregame kind of thing, but I figured I should do something with whiskey. Yeah. Ugh. Okay, this one is... I'm already forgetting things. Doers. Okay. The good thing is this is something I would never do on my own. I would never actually pour all of these and try them just because, it's not something I'd be like sitting here at my desk doing. The only way I would do this is if I was doing a stream, especially since I don't like them at all. This one's a little fruitier, and this is the Dewar's 12, blended scotch. Doesn't smell awful, does smell like a Speyside kind of thing. Does have that little bit of funk, whatever the heck that is. If it's a malt funk or a sherry funk or whatever the kind of funk it is. A Scotch funk. I want to hear Scottish funk now. I don't know why. That'd be kind of funny to listen to. Musically, that is. Can you imagine Scottish doing funky music? No, I can't. Although I'm thinking about it now. Okay, this one doesn't smell too bad. So just... Oh, well, hi. Okay. That has more flavor to it, certainly. The Glen Rother's Field. Yeah, Field. Kind of muted compared to that. That at least had some spice and kick to it. Not much, let's be clear. But it certainly has more than the first one. But the smell of it I don't like as much. So I'd have to go with... funny enough, the first one I poured being the least yuck for me. And then this Dewar's being second. Third, fourth, fifth is going to be a bit of a debate because those other three are really not nice smelling to me. Yeah, man. It's, I almost wish I could be a one type of whiskey person, but because there's so many from so many different places, I want to try as many as possible. There's that thought of just being there are a dozen or more easily bourbon-esque channels, and that's certainly the easiest thing for me to get, just being in the States. But I want to try them all. Scotch is so different from bourbon, and Irish is very different from Scotch, is my experience, especially when you get into peated stuff. It's crazy. Crazy variety out there. And as I mentioned, I did get into whiskeys officially via Scotch because I had been so used to drinking that horrible kind of stuff when I was younger, just taking shots of, Southern Comfort, Captain Morgan. I want to say Jim Beam and Jack Daniels, but I don't really remember if we did. I think it was just the really cheap ass stuff. Southern Comfort, SoCo, 100 proof SoCo specifically has a spot in my mind. And that is something I don't think I ever want to drink again. I can't stand the smell of it. I remember getting sick off of it, at least. So, do not like. All right. Man, why am I doing this to myself? For entertainment purposes, of course. Yeah. Why would people think Macallan 12 is something fancy when it smells like socks? I'm getting kind of a cut grass thing, but we're talking like wet cut grass or something. That's bizarre. Not a great smell. What's strange, sorry to pause and stop there, but I was thinking it's almost like this weird, like a bad cologne kind of thing that someone was convinced that it's very expensive cologne, but just, people are convinced it's the best smelling thing ever. And it just isn't. It's just this musty thing. I don't even know how to describe it. I feel bad. Again, I don't want to call anything bad, but to my taste, at least, this is not great. It does have some sweet fruit notes, but again, it seems more like a rotting fruit kind of thing is going on there. Yeah. I really feel bad because they're all scotches, but I did, I was looking at the back porch here, or back shelf, and just looking at all these scotches that I don't even touch, that have been there for at least a year, with me hoping I would like them a little more. So far, it hasn't happened. Especially these two. These two are the worst. Going between the Dalmore and the Johnny Walker wine thing. Bleh. Yeah, that one smells like paint thinner still. Yeah. My bottle collection with over 9,000, I would have a serious problem. And it wouldn't be because I had, 9,000 bottles. It's because I'd have no money. I don't know how I'd pay for anything if I had that many bottles. Yeah, Vegeta's awesome. As is Kakarot or Goku. Wow. I got this at Hot Topic because I'm hip and with it. Ugh, no, why? Why? I only wish we had the ability to share smells or stuff over the internet, because describing things like this, especially things you don't like, is brutal. Because you feel bad. You feel bad just saying negative things about anything, but especially when it's a product people worked on, really worked on. Years of work going into it, just time. But yuck. I was hoping they would at least change or improve over time, but they haven't. They've just gotten worse, technically. Okay, this one is the Johnny Walker thing, which I said smelled like paint thinner or nail polish remover, nail polish remover. Maybe a little bit like nail polish, although I'm not really sure what that smells like. But not great. Let's go for the taste. Yay. Well, thankfully, that doesn't take like much of anything. I won't say it tastes bad, but it doesn't taste good. It's very watery, very minimal flavor. I mean, I can tell it's. I can't even say it's a Scotch. I know it is. Johnny Walker blended Scotch thing, but I think, and I don't know, I'm wondering how much of each thing this is, because it says very little on it that makes any sense to me. Just about the words that are throwing me off here are experimental blend of grain and select malt whiskeys. And I have an idea of what grain whiskey is in my mind, and it's not a good thing. Including some matured in wine casks. And they don't even say what kind of wine. That's another thing that bothers me. They don't say like Oloroso or whatever. I don't know much about wines. My brother knows more about wines than I do. Part of me is wondering if they put coloring in it, you know? It's that kind of bottle where I'm just going, Thankfully, it doesn't taste like much. This is another one that I would say just mix it with something if you want to drink it. But in truth, it doesn't taste like much of anything. I'm going to take one more sip because reasons. I don't even know what to say about that. Yeah. Funny enough, the only thing it's making me think of, and it's only because of the word green blend or grain whiskey, whatever they said, it's making me think of this one, which I really should just pour out and get rid of. But this one says on the back something similar, except it says a little more aggressively. 20% Kentucky straight whiskey, and then 80% grain neutral spirits. That's what I'm worried about. Grain neutral spirits, just, like vodka kind of stuff. That is the sensation I'm getting out of this Johnny Walker blend. It's like they put vodka and scotch and some wine thing into a cask, and we're just like, experiment number 6. That's what it feels like to me. Even the taste of it is so bland. It doesn't smell good. Let's be clear. It smells like paint thinner still. But the taste of it is just bleh. As if I was having a vodka kind of thing with maybe a little bit of maybe some kind of wine thing going on. Barely. Not great. It's leaving a film on my tongue. I know that much. Yeah. Okay. On to this other monstrosity, which is the Lost Track Dalmore. This one smells awful. I don't know why it smells awful, but it does. Yeah. It really smells bad. I'm sorry. Ugh. At least my senses are working, but God. Yeah, a rotten fruit thing. Yeah. It's the initial smell of it that's really bad to me. But after I've been smelling a little bit, it's not so overpowering. It still doesn't smell good. It still smells like some kind of weird stewed fruit, a rotting fruit kind of thing. I'll say stewed fruit is probably the nicer way to put it. And that sickly note, which I don't Maybe it's more of a vinegar thing. I was saying bile earlier. That's not very pleasant. But something about it's just making my, my whole nose and my whole being just kind of scrunch up and back off. And it shouldn't do that. It's supposed to be Dalmore 12. It's supposed to be this wonderful Scotch whiskey that is expensive. That's the part that bothers me. It's an expensive Scotch. And I say expensive being more than $60, to be clear. As someone who doesn't have much money, anything over $30 to $40 is expensive, technically. All right, hold on. Well, the smell is not as bad as before. Okay. Again, not a heck of a lot going on there for me, but it doesn't taste like it smells, which is a good thing. Now, how do I convey this properly? Again, the taste for me isn't much. I could tell it's probably a little peppery and a little. I had a weird. I had the thought of chocolate go through my head. I don't know why. It doesn't mean I tasted it, but it was there for a second. But again, the nose of it is so off-putting. Man. That is very basic Scotch right there. It's like a slightly spicier version of Dewar's to me. Except the smell is not good to me. Ugh. Okay, so that's a good thing to know, is that for the future, if I'm going to try a Dalmore product, I probably will not like the smell of it, probably. But the taste isn't too bad. It's not offensive to me. Oh, it's actually a little peppery. Kind of. Only a little. It's lingering, but it's not impressive. It didn't do anything like many of the bourbons I try. It's not doing that kind of thing. There's no spikiness on my tongue. It's only a little bit of a peppery note, black peppery note. Okay, fine. So the Dalmore, while it smells truly unpleasant to me, I wouldn't say it's as bad as the Johnny Walker wine blend thing, simply because the taste is not very. It's got something there, but it's not anything like the smell. Thankfully. And now for the Macallan 12, which is one of my more recent purchases, which is supposed to be fancy Scotch whiskey. Let's remember that. Ow. Yeah, of course. Hopefully it's not being picked up on the microphone, but the lady next door is vacuuming. Okay. I'm getting a sour note off this one and this is Macallan 12, by the way. The only reason I can pick out sour at the moment is because of, I think, one of the last streams I did, I had some Sour Patch Kids. So the concept of sour is very clearly embedded in my mind at the moment. And it kind of smells sour. You'd think I'd be getting more fruit notes because I think this one definitely is a sherry finish. That funk has kind of dissipated, I should say. And I've been capping all of these as best I can, but they're changing as usual. Uh-oh. I haven't tried it yet. That's actually a closed bottle. It is on the list of things to try because there's that, and I have 2 more donations to get through. This is another one. Glen Scotia 15 Scotch, and I have the Colonel E.H. Taylor, which the only version of that I've had was on a blind sample, I think, and it came in, I think it came in last. Don't quote me on that. I don't remember. And the ones that came out higher were mostly just ryes. I think it was like some kind of rye thing, and then number one was Eagle Rare, of all things. But again, that's a fresh bottle. I haven't tried it. It's unopened. No idea if I'm going to like it or not. I probably will. There are very few bourbons I've tried that I haven't liked. Very few, thankfully. Okay, this is less horrible than I thought it was earlier. I don't know if scotches need to breathe more or something like that. But let's try the Macallan 12. What's the one on the vault? Macallan M? Like a $5,000 bottle, Macallan M. This is strange. For whatever reason, with these bottles, the reason I don't really seem to be drinking them is because they don't taste like much to me. I can kind of tell they're a scotch. They have, alcohol in them, clearly. There's maybe a little bit of peppery notes or something like that, but it's just not doing it. It's not doing it for me. It's not really being like, oh, this really tastes good. It's just kind of bland and flat and not much going on, which is why I'm not drinking them, clearly. Other than the smell. The smell of these, some of them I don't like. I would have to say the Dewar's 12 is probably on top for the least offensive, if not the Glenrothes. But again, those are both ones I've said this would be fine for a scotch and soda. My thought process of the evening is what I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to pour all of these together and make a terrible scotch and soda. But at least I won't be able to taste it much. Plenty of ice. Maybe I'll use some what is it called? Bitters? Something like that? I don't know. That would change the whole thing. Turn it into some kind of weird scotch old-fashioned. Not a good idea. With these being the way they are. You smell a little more candied now. And this is the Glenrothes and the Dewar's. Yeah, they're reminding me of some kind of hard candy. I don't know exactly what kind of hard candy, but they smell sweeter after I've tried these other things that are just, they are interesting smells, to say the least. So I'm not sure which is worse. Some of these having a kind of mild smell, a little bit sweet, inoffensive, kind of. Do I want to say honeysuckle? Kinda. If you've ever smelled those kind of flowers, it's just faint sweetness, kind of floralish, I suppose. The musty smell's gone away, at least. So I don't know what the heck that is. It just seems to be something that comes off the first pour for me. Or maybe I just phase it out. That was weird. I got a distinct fruit note when I went from one to the other. Out of this one, which is the Glenrothes. This one's a little mustier. Only a little. Eh. Put my whole nose in there and I can barely get anything. Okay. Been at this for an hour, so they've all changed slightly over the course of just me sitting here. Ever so slightly. And if anyone is wondering how the title of this stream goes, it's no, I don't like that. I feel like I saw that from something. I thought it was Monty Python or something like that, but I cannot figure out where I have that reference from. Yeah, those two have gone kind of boring and flat to me now. From and a half. But I have a feeling these two will be exactly as horrible as before. Whoa, yep. Okay, those two are still the same. Ugh. Yeah. I mean, the experience is a little different now. And I have had them capped the whole time. I'm trying to keep them as stable as they can be without them oxidizing too much, but holy smokes. That's bad. That's so bad. I mean, no, it's not that bad. For a moment, I got dill pickle on that. That was bizarre. And that was the Dalmore. And the other one, the Johnny Walker thing. If you see wine blend or experiment number 6 somewhere, don't do it. It's not good smelling. Just thought of crayons. The smell of crayons. Oh. If anything, this is fun to do just to see what kind of little snippets of randomness come out of your brain. I'm getting some old memories here. We're talking about Crayola crayon smell and what I'm assuming is also paste or that kind of glue paste stuff used in kindergarten. Not a good smell. Or a, what's it called? Glue stick? If those still exist out there somewhere. That's what I'm getting off the Johnny Walker thing. It is not pleasant. It does not smell like something you want to drink. It smells like something that is used to disinfect things. But again, the smell is blech. The taste, it's like nothing. Just blech. Kind of like drinking a weak vodka, a watered down vodka, with maybe a hint of some kind of fruit note, maybe, simply because it was finished in wine stuff or had wine. Wine was involved somehow. Strangeness, bizarreness. So, we've gotten through these, and I'm saying, yeah, these definitely are gross, and I definitely don't like them. To sum up, I'm still torn between these first two that I do like, or at least are more agreeable. But as far as from worst to least offensive to me, I'm going to say the worst one is definitely the Johnny Walker wine thing. That one smells, as I said, like some kind of disinfectant, like something that just shouldn't be drank. And it's used for, treating wounds or something. It's just that it's got that kind of smell. Not great. Then we're going to go to one of the two big ones, which I still have to figure out. It's a toss-up between Dalmore and Macallan. Surprisingly. Unsurprisingly, maybe. Yeah. That's the Dalmore. This is the Macallan. No, I'm going to hold. Yeah. Neither of them are good. Which one do I find more offensive than the other is the question. I think I'll have to say the Dalmore, because that one's got that weird kind of sickly note to it that I don't like. So from worst to least worst, Johnny Walker thing, Delmore, Macallan, and now it's a toss-up between the least offensive two, which are the Glenrothes and the, what was the other one? I've already forgotten. Dewar's. So it's up to those two now to see which is going to come out on top as the supposedly least offensive one for me, personally. I'm getting sweet fruit notes out of that now. It's freaking me out. And honestly, a lot of this is going off the smell because the taste of all these is kind of meh. There's not much I'm getting out of any of them. So I'm going off the smell more than anything else. This feels very weird to do, by the way, going back and forth comparing. I know it's a normal thing for when you're actually comparing whiskeys, but I don't do this very often. Usually my streams are just hang out and drink, and that's part of it, just to drink, especially on a Friday. As I said earlier, it's been a week. It's been a day. It's That's what I feel like I'm doing right now. I think I'm torn here because neither of these are anything like the other three. The smell of them is completely inoffensive. They just kind of smell like a Speyside. There's nothing, of any note to them that's like sticking out specifically. So that means I kind of have to try to go off the taste. Glenrothes has a kind of, I don't know if that was bitter or oak or something. It's something in the middle. I don't know how to describe it very well, though, where it changed slightly. It's not terrible. It's just, meh. It's meh. It's the best way I can describe it. Those are my tasting notes. It's meh. I got to do this fairly, don't I? Yeah. Okay. Though again, nothing crazy. It seems like the Dewar's 12 is the one that's going to take first place for being the least offensive, and Glenrothes is second because they're fifth. I don't know how I don't know which way I'm doing this number wise. I feel like number 1 should be good, number 5 should be bad in this case. So number 1 goes to the Dewar's 12, but there's nothing crazy good about it. The smell isn't anything amazing. And the only thing that separates the Glenrothes is this kind of weird thing it does in the middle as far as my tastes are concerned. It's not bad. It's just, as I said, it's a little off-putting. There's nothing bad about it. It's just peculiar, I guess is the nice way to put it. Well, there you go. We've gotten through this horror show. It didn't go as horribly as I thought it would, thankfully. It's still not good. But the only thing we can do now is mix them together to see what happens. Not all of them. We're going to do this in stages since I have about 40 minutes, 50 minutes, whatever left. We're going to mix the 2 least offensive ones into one bottle or one glass. So we are mixing the Dewar's 12 and the Glenrothes together. Just because. No good reason. Feels like a science, even mad scientist all of a sudden. And the other two are the two big name brands that are always fighting with each other for being how expensively great they are. So we're going to mix together, that's right, the Dalmore and the Macallan 12 to see if it improves either. I feel like it won't. I feel like I'm just making them worse. There's only one way to find out. Here we are. Mixy, mixy. Lovely, lovely. And the winner of tonight's little tasting thing is going to probably be dumped in the sink because it's really bad smelling. I don't like it. Not the whole bottle. I'm keeping that for now. But I honestly don't know what to do with it because, yeah, it doesn't smell good. It doesn't taste like much of anything. It just tastes kind of blah. There's nothing about it. There's nothing good taste-wise from it. That's something I almost want to like send to other people and be like, why does this taste so terrible? Explain this to me. Ugh. All right. I got to make sure I don't get everything confused now that I've switched all these freaking Glencairns around. The one on my right is the mix of Dewar's and Glenrothes. The one on my left here is the mix of Macallan 12 and Dalmore 12. Dalmore 12? Sure. 12. So we mixed the two I didn't like with together and mixed the two I did like kind of together just to see what will happen. I'm going to let them sit. I'm mixing them around a bit. I don't want to do too much. Because again, I don't feel like anything is going to be improved in this case. I feel like things are just gone mad scientist-esque, but that's fine. That's part of the fun. Something I would definitely not do unless I was doing a stream. Okay, that's the one that's the two that I found not so offensive. Ooh. Thankfully, I think the Dalmore took over. No, wait, not the Dalmore. The Macallan. Macallan 12 took over this so-called blend. Because it doesn't smell as sickly as before is the nice way of putting that, I suppose. I'm afraid to try either of them as a taste, but as far as the smell is concerned, nothing really horrible, thankfully. And as I said, for the two I didn't like much, the Dalmore 12 and the Macallan 12, the Macallan 12 taste took over, or smell took over, thankfully. Because the Dalmore 12 smell I don't like. It just reminds me of all these horrible, horrible things. For whatever reason. I don't know why. There's very little way for me to figure out why unless I do a lot of digging. And also, mostly I just have to try more Dalmores. I've only had the one, so I can't say that's the definite thing I don't like. But as far as just my dislike of Dalmore 12, it's pretty strong. Opinions. Opinions are being had left and right. Look out. I certainly feel bad for having to, shit on pretty much the fancy scotches. And you'd think the blend would not come out on top, but it did. Oh, why? Just my weird taste, I suppose. My unique individual taste buds, we'll say. It's the nicest way I can put that. All right, here's the mix of the two I did, found least offensive. Ooh. I would say that's an improvement, honestly. I think the Dewar's kind of took over. But that weird little thing in the middle is gone that the Glenrothes had. I don't know if it was a bitterness or a wood note or what, but it's not there now, which is good. It's strange and unusual, to say the least. Okay. Now for the concoction. Oh, I'm not going to like this. Oh, Make up your mind. Smell like the Dalmore or smell like a Macallan 12. Neither is great. Ugh, no. I wonder if I am getting raisin smell off this. As I said earlier, I don't particularly like raisins. I don't dislike them, but when given the option of raisins or something else, I'll probably choose something else. Yeah, still doesn't taste like much of anything to me. Nothing fancy, nothing specifically jumping out at me. A little pepperiness, but that's about it. Nothing crazy. It's staying on my tongue there, I'll give it that. So it's a little livelier than the less than yucky blend I just did. See, Barn Door, I saw that you typed something, but it's only now showing up to me. The joys of StreamYard, blah. There it is again. John McKellen, I see that you've typed in YouTube. Now it's showing up. There's a delay. The proof on all of these, except for the Macallan 12, was 40%. So this is the one that has, 3% more alcohol because of the Macallan 12. But that didn't really change anything for me. I still think the Dalmore is really not good smelling. Granted, it wasn't as bad as the Johnny Walker mess. And welcome if you just got here. We've been doing all kinds of fun stuff. We've just blended, for anyone who's just showing up. Ow. I have blended Dalmore 12 and the Macallan 12 together because we found out I don't particularly like the smell of those. Taste is meh, but the smell of them is just no. I definitely don't like them. And the other two we blended together was the Glenrothes and the Dewar's 12 because I put those in there because I haven't really drank them. They weren't really ones I specifically remember not liking. They're just bottles I've had for a long time. And I was curious as to why I haven't really touched them. And it's because they are kind of plain, boring scotches to me. And while the Macallan 12 and the Dalmore 12 are not particularly tasty, for one thing, and for another, they don't smell good to me. They smell kind of rotten. Is the nice way to put it, I suppose. I think I said a number of things like wet socks, or one note I think was, wet grass that has been cut recently. Cellar is one I like to use a lot for scotches. And the best thing I've called it, or not the best thing, but the thing I say all the time is, funk. I get this weird funk off scotch, and I don't know why. I've thought it was because of the malting process. I've thought it's because of the sherry finishes. I don't know. I haven't quite figured it out. This is why I just feel like I should go hang out with Roy. And I like, hey, Roy, help me. I don't know what the hell's going on here. I don't know what's going on. Some scotches I get this weird funk off of. It could be a barley thing, but I don't get it with all of them. I only get it with a few. Specifically, in this case, Macallan 12 and Dalmore 12. No 99 bananas, Bondar. No. I really don't like this taste of that stuff. And thankfully, I only had that sample because that's long gone. I did not like drinking that at all. That was... If nothing else, it helped me pinpoint the smell of bananas or fake banana flavoring smell thing, taste, whatever. No, not just a splash. I don't have any of it. I have weird random stuff in my freezer, but I forget what they are. None of it's banana, thankfully. I think one of them is Fireball and one of them is something else. A bunch of weird random stuff that was donated kindly by my mother, but that was before I made it very clear that there are certain things that have to be met for little samples to be actual whiskey. Them being 40% was one, and I don't know if any of them, like some of them are. Some of them I have over here. She's got me like Jameson and Jim Beam, that kind of thing. Evan Williams, black. I'm not certain, John. I know the funny part is I just know Delmore and Macallan are, competitors of some sort of. Different marketing thing, at least. But as for these two, the question I have in my mind is it a Speyside? This the Glenrothes is. It says Speyside single malt Scotch whiskey right there. But this one we were talking about earlier, and I have to scroll back to see who is saying information because I've already forgotten the name because I'm bad with names. Dan Hayes. Dan Hayes told me that Dewar's is blended from undisclosed distilleries, likely Speysides. So thank you for him saying that. It would take me a hot minute to look it up. But yeah, again, this is right here, and I bought this bottle well over a year ago, probably going on 2 years now. And I haven't been reaching for it, so I was curious as to why. And I found out today it's because it's a Scotch, but there's not much to it. I didn't get too many funky smells out of them, I don't think. I certainly got a funky smell off the Dalmore and the Macallan. Smells I did not like, which is why I don't drink them. And the worst one of all, of course, was this monstrosity by Johnny Walker. As you can see, haven't drank much because it smells like paint thinner or nail polish remover or whatever. It doesn't smell good, and it doesn't taste very much like anything, thankfully. The nicest way I can say it doesn't taste much more complicated than a certain, like some kind of cheap vodka might. Doesn't taste good, but so yeah, that's that. At least we're done with that, and I'm definitely dumping out this blended thing. At least the Johnny Walker one. The other two I'll think about mixing together just to see what happens. Right now I'm just letting them sit a little. I've had Johnny Walker Red. I don't particularly like it. At least if I remember correctly from the video I did. I do know I like Johnny Walker Black and Johnny Walker Double Black. Those are fine. I have no problem with those. Those are some of the things I started drinking initially when I got into whiskey. Is I tried some peated stuff like Lafroig, and then I got curious about other things, other scotches. And I've been kind of going through the phases, I guess, of having more of an interest in Irish and bourbons and scotches. I don't know why. Right now it's been prices, let's be clear. Right now I can get bourbons for much cheaper than I can a Scotch or a Irish because tariffs, yay. I hope you can't hear that. Lady next door is crazy. Yeah, that's fine. Officially. I don't get that funky smell off it anymore, but yeah, there's still a weird smell off this other one. And again, it's kind of a damp smell or a cellar smell. I would say it's kind of like what I think a wine cellar might smell like. Maybe. I've never been in a wine cellar, at least not that I'm aware of. Yeah. weird. Yeah. I was fortunate that I got to go there last year for my, well, not last year. I forgot we switched years. So in 2019, I was able to get to Texas, and I had a bourbon sample thing at the Whiskey Vault, just as it had switched over to being the Whiskey Vault. But I got to try a number of different things there, actually. They're all lovely. But I didn't do a Scotch one, so I'm thinking of doing that next time, whenever next time happens to be, when I get down to Texas and feel like doing a tasting event of some sort. I still have bottles to pick up there. What I'm worried about is that one of the bottles I have to pick up is a Scotch, or is not a Scotch, but it is. I mean, that's what it feels like I've been doing. Is over the past year and a half, actually this past month, December especially, I went through a number of different Scotches quickly. I was doing the advent calendar thing, so there were a whole bunch of Scotches I had. And I've certainly found that there are a few I like, especially from these guys. Like Compass Box does some amazing stuff. Officially, I can say that because I got to try 3 of them. They were lovely. Oh yeah, you let me know. I very rarely go out, and I very rarely buy any kind of ticket thing for that kind of thing. There is a casino nearby, but I haven't been able to go to the casino in probably almost a year now, thinking back. I know I went to the casino on New Year's Eve of 2019, and then I might have gone once or twice at the beginning of 2020, but ever since, I have thought going to a casino, not a good idea, even if they are as clean as possible. Just better not to be around people right now. That's my motto. Stay away from people, even if it is 2021. Until vaccine things have happened, as soon as more and more people are at least vaccinated, there's no sense in being around anyone else at the moment. Plenty of whiskey to drink at home, thankfully. And we have this lovely ability to teleport to each other's, or teleport to your screen. I'm teleporting. Again, I only wish I could teleport the smells. Nice. I mean, I hope to go to Texas this year at some point. I had planned to do it. I had planned to do things last year. I had planned to go to Kentucky. I had planned to go to Texas for the Bastards Ball. None of those things happened. But I did get to sip a lot of whiskey, and there are plenty of whiskey tubers out there to entertain us all, thankfully. Me being one of them, supposedly. That's debatable. Questionable. All right. So far, I do like this blend of the ones that I did, I didn't like. I didn't not like. But as far as this one still has a weird, funky smell to it. And the running theory about why I get a funk or a kind of off-putting smell is it has something to do with the malting process, possibly the barley, possibly if it's a sherry finish, that's come up on more than one occasion. Just the fact that it's a single malt maybe is the thing. I honestly don't know. It could just be like a single malt barley thing that I get out of it, but I don't, again, I'm not certain. But I did notice it come up in a number of these, and less in the, well, I say less, but it was still there for a couple. Less aggressively in these two, the Glenrothes and the Dewars. There was a little bit of a funk at the beginning, but it dissipated. While even after, an hour and 30 minutes, we're talking now, this one still has this weird off-putting smell to it. Not as bad as before when I blended them together, so they're not as bad now. But it's still not a good smell to me. It's still something that's making my nose scrunch up. And when that happens, it's a bad thing. The worst one, of course, as I mentioned, goes to the Johnnie Walker blend, or not even the blend, whatever this is. Yeah, I would say it smells like paint thinner or nail polish remover. Not good. I would not pour that for anyone, ever, unless I really didn't like them. I was like, here, try this. It's wonderful. It's a unique experience, I would say. Oh, that's bad. It really is. That's unfortunate, too, because I have a lot of it. Well, yeah, this is my winner for tonight, is the blended thing of the Dewar's and the Glenrothes. Again, I say these are the good ones, but these are also the ones I was saying you can make a Scotch and soda with these, and it would be fine. It's fine. Totally fine. Nothing fancy. Nothing astounding. But nothing offensive. That's the key part. Where the Johnnie Walker thing is just no. All right. With the last half hour, trying to figure out what we should talk about. Because we got 30 minutes until Trev goes live. And I have to debate if I want to drink these whiskeys quickly or slowly or at all, is the real question. I'm debating mixing these two together. I don't know if that'd be a good idea. It feels like it would be a bad idea. Because right now I like this one just fine. And I don't really like this one. Yeah, it's just as I mentioned earlier, it smells like glue, sort of. There's something sour about it. It's just making my nose scratch up, but not a good way. Something akin to rotting fruit, as I've said. But again, the taste of it isn't that bad. I think that's the thing. It's not good. It's not bad. Well, since we've got time, I guess I'll mix them together. Not this one. That Johnnie Walker blend thing is just bad smelling and not good tasting. Stanley Wagner Jr., I see you. I'm waiting for it to show up on SteamYard. There it is. Yes, you get to watch me suffer a little bit, Stanley. So it's pretty much all it's going to be. Is me constantly going back and forth between these scotches and wondering what the hell I'm doing. I'm mixing these together now. Yikes. And suddenly I'm quite aware of how much whiskey I poured myself. Ooh, okay. Hang on. All right, I'm going to let that sit for a minute because that smell that I didn't like from the Macallan, it's not there now that I've mixed them all together. So we have a 4 blend right now of Dalmore, Macallan, Glenrothes, and Dewar's. It's a 4 blend. It's a what the hell did it say on the vault? God, I can't remember. Quintessential? I don't remember if that's the word. Quintessential blend of 4 different scotches. Unique only to this channel in this moment, in this time, in this space, in the universe. Supposedly. I mean, I don't think anyone else in the world is mixing these 4 things together. That'd be kind of weird. Nope, it's still kind of there. Never mind. I thought it was gone, but it isn't. It's fainter. The Macallan smell is fainter, but it's still there. All right. Yowza. And I forgot to ask, what are all of you drinking while you're here? I hope it's better than what I'm drinking. Yeah. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with the blend of those four together. Feel free to try that at home if you have them. It is certainly an improvement because they were not great at the start. Crafty God, I'm jealous. A little bit. Although I know from one of the tasting things I did weeks ago, last year technically, I do tend to like the Redbreast 12 most of all. The Redbreast 15, I think, was something about it. I don't remember what. Wild Turkey 101 is a favorite of mine. JJ knows this. McLaughlin. 3799. I don't know what that is, but I'm going to assume it's a Scotch. I have no idea. At the very least, we have gotten through this little experiment, and we have found out that mixing all four of them together seems to help in relatively the same amounts because I didn't actually measure them. I just tried to pour half an ounce of each, which I think I did mostly. And now I've mixed all four of those together, and it seems fine. But again, this feels like something I should do with the Scotch and soda. So ice, soda water, and Scotch. They'll be fine. Because that's how much flavor is coming out of these. It's not much. I don't know why. It's not terrible. There may be nuances in these whiskeys that I am certainly blunted to, I imagine. But at the very least, there are distinct notes I get from Scotch. Not all of them are good to me. I think we found out I tend to like Highlands. Wait a minute. No, this is the one that didn't say. And this one said Speyside. Which one said Highland? I swore one of them did. This one, Dalmore is a Highland single malt. But it is not one I like. That is certain. And as I said earlier, all of these were 40% except for the Macallan 12, which is 43. Oh. Yeah, it's on the list. I mean, I would hope that last year, because of December, I would figure it out because I still have a bunch of the sample packs down here somewhere. I tried the Balvenie. I tried Glenlivet. I tried Compass Box. And funny enough, Compass Box is the one I seem to like the most, especially with the Spice Tree and the Spaniard. But those are blends. So it doesn't exactly narrow it down. But Compass Box, as far as I understand it, are very good at blending. And a lot of people seem to enjoy their products. And it's partially why I think Dewar's came out on top. It's a blended Scotch, but it's nothing fancy. You know, there's nothing eye-catching about it. It's kind of like, it's reminding me of, if I think about it, it's reminding me of having an Irish whiskey almost. At least a typical Irish whiskey, like a Jameson or something. It's on that level of it being the product. So you think Jameson, it's an Irish whiskey. You have that pretty well ingrained into your brain. And then you have something like Dewar's 12, which is a Scotch, 12 years, blended in this case. So it represents kind of the standard of the thing, you know, the very basic, nothing crazy. not to sound like I'm shitting on anything. It's just there are those brands out there that are well known, but they're also the kind of the starter pack for getting into whiskey, I think. Because I certainly, as a person who never tried whiskey officially back in the day until I was, almost 30, I had Jameson before, but I had also had it by taking a shot of it. I didn't actually sip on it. And I feel like Scotch, like Dewar's, is very similar, that some people would be like, oh yeah, I'll have a shot of that. And they wouldn't really technically sample it as a sipper. They would just take a shot of it and be like, oh, that was interesting. I like that. That was good. That was it. And then they can say they've had a Scotch, that kind of thing. And I'm sure it's, people will say things about it being a blended Scotch, guaranteed. I don't know if it's positive or negative things, but for me, it's fine. And in my case, again, I started out with peated Scotches at first and got into blended Scotches such as Johnny Walker Black next. That was fine. The journey of discovery. Yeah. I'm trying to remember what I was interested in last month. I swear it was Highlands, but then I got Dalmore. I just sampled Dalmore earlier and a guy went, blah. But I was fairly certain I had an interest in Highlands. But I also think a lot of people say Highlands and Speyside are the same thing. Or maybe it's Campbelltown. I'll remember all of these different areas someday, but I don't know if today's that day. I've done this before on streams too. So there's Islands, Isla, Campbelltown, Speyside, Highlands. Is there another? I feel like there is, but I don't remember what. But oh well. At the very least, I have plenty more Scotches to try over the course of who knows when. I still have many other Scotches I don't particularly like. But I'm trying to think. For the most part, I have peated Scotches back here, but they're not ones I don't like. There's like one I didn't really like, which I almost put in the lineup. Almost. And you'll say Lowlands. Thank you, JJ. I felt like I missed something. But this one, Isla Mist. Not terrible, but also not really good. This is kind of the knockoff Lafroig, if you will. The peated Isla, and it's a blend. I almost put this in the lineup tonight, but it's a peated Scotch, and I know that would throw everything off. But it is also 40%, and as you can tell from the look of it, and the fancy labeling, and the word deluxe blended Scotch whiskey. There are a lot of giveaways here. Yeah, smells kind of like a peated Scotch. Nope. But again, also screw top. Little giveaways. The problem is I don't have any other peated Scotches I don't like. I could have a peated Scotch lineup, which I've done before. I've had a Lafroig lineup once, and I found out very quickly that I can't really tell the difference between Lafroig and Lagavulin if they're all blind in front of me and I have no idea what they are. Although I do get fruit notes from peated Scotches sometimes, so that's nice. But the peat is real, thankfully. Yeah, trying to keep an eye on the time. Okay. Got 10 more minutes, give or take. I still have plenty of whiskey to try. I still get the smell of the Macallan through all of that. At least it's not the Dalmore. The Dalmore got drowned out like hell, thankfully. No. I'm thinking about it. I mean, the only reason I didn't put that peated Scotch in here tonight was because it would have messed everything up with everything else I tried. And it would have been blatantly obvious to me. It was just a peated Scotch blend. And I don't dislike it. I haven't had it in a long time. It's just, and As you can see, the bottle is untouched, kind of. And I've had it for a year at least. At least a year. But what I do have also is this one, which I do like. Glenfiddich Fire and Cane. And it's, here. Because I don't want to finish it. This is one I have mostly gone, and I don't want to finish it. And I also have this guy, which I haven't really touched. Black bottle. And it is a black bottle, so it's very hard to see. But I think it's about there. Had that for about a year. Untouched, kind of. Oddly enough, the Isla Mist smells peatier, which is kind of hard to believe. They're the same kind of thing. They're blended Isla Scotch stuff. It's weird. But those aren't my go-to. I mean, this one kind of is. This is one I really like. And the Highland Park is also one I really like. So I could do those four. The Glenfiddich Fire and Cane, Black Bottle, Isla Mist, and Highland Park, which is technically almost gone, and I really need to finish it, if I remember correctly. Because those are kind of in the same category. There are two that are, there are two that aren't. That's just sad. That needs to die. But I don't want it to be gone, because then I have to get another, which I won't do because it's expensive. Nope. Ugh. I feel like I should put that in a smaller bottle, at least, because that's nothing. Ugh. I do like this one. I try to put all these bottles back. It's going to be exciting. At the very least, I've learned that I still don't like the fancy stuff as far as scotches go. The Macallan 12 and especially the Dalmore 12. Not a fan. I will have another Dalmore at some point, like maybe a Dalmore 15 or a cigar malt or something. But the smell of it, I don't understand. Maybe other people don't smell that kind of sickly, gross smell that I get out of it, but ooh. And I don't know what to do with it. I'm kind of stuck with it now. And I bought the bottle of Dalmore, and now I know I don't like it, so I don't know what I should do with it, other than maybe try to do a scotch and soda kind of thing with it every now and then. But very rarely do I ever have scotch and soda. I might tonight, because I don't know if I'm going to be able to finish all this in the Glencairn. Yeah, it doesn't do much for me. It's not terrible, though, which is the good part. Ugh. My voice is dying. Oh, here's another one I know I like. Glenmorangie. And this is Tell Me Things box. These are Highlands. This is what I was thinking about when I think of Highland. But also, these are kind of different blends. Like I have the regular Glenmorangie. I finished off the La Santa. I have the Quinta Rubin, and I have the Nectador, which I'll probably do in a review at some point. John, the smell of it isn't too bad now. That's the thing. Like once I mixed all four together, there's only a hint of the Macallan 12, but I don't taste anything from any of them. It's just a blend. It's a literal blend of scotches now. 4 of them specifically. Well, not counting whatever the blend of Dewar's happens to be. But Dewar's was the winner officially. Oop. It's my watch telling me things. And the loser was Johnny Walker's Abomination thing, which was not good. Not good at all. Experiment number 6, don't buy it. It's a mistake. It smells like paint thinner and nail polish remover. It doesn't taste like much of anything, thankfully. But yeah, got a whole bottle of it. Don't know what to do about that. But I think this will do well in Scotch and soda. I know we have... I should give Trev some of these. Yeah. Send Trev some samples. He'll love them. No, that'd be mean. I don't want to do that. But I will say to those who are still here, Trev Wilson is going live in about 10 minutes, 9 minutes soon. And we'll all be heading over there in a few minutes. And then we'll be heading on to ADH Whiskey, probably. The concern I have is that when I do a stream like this, and I've had a number of drinks as I have at the moment, at least it was, I tried to do little pours, but I get very tired very quickly. I think last week I did a stream and then just fell asleep at 9 o'clock or something, which, whatever. Sometimes that happens. And I'm especially tired from the amount of bombardment that has been going on in the social medias over the past 2-3 days-ish. That's been exhausting. Yeah. To clarify, I can tell people what the date is. It is the 8th, and I'm talking about what happened on January 6th of 2021. A day that will go down in infamy, supposedly. Lovely. Great way to start the year. But not what this channel is about, thankfully. This channel is about trying whiskey, learning new things, being interested in the hobby, sharing it with others if possible, receiving gifts from others. That's always nice. Donations especially, as you can see below. Be sure to like and subscribe. I always forget to say that. I'm surprised I said that at all. Yeah, no advent calendars to shoot, thankfully. I gotta say, that month of that was brutal. As much as I enjoyed having the whiskey, it's just because it was December and my mental health being crap in general during this time of year. It was hard to do that many videos, but I did. I did it. I got to try all the samples. It was glorious. I still have many samples to do. Plenty of videos for the future. Usually they come out on Wednesday. So look forward to that. Because to be clear, I can only do like one video a week if I'm actually doing a video. Because I don't buy whiskeys that often. And if I do, it's usually the same kind of thing. But I do have a lot of samples. I like to think I did okay. Thank you for the encouragement, John. I keep waiting for 155. I like to be very precise about when I stop the stream. It's annoying, but that's me in my mind. So we got a minute. Hello, my baby. Hello, my honey. Hello, my ragtime gal. Da 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 da. That's an old song I don't know the words to. Do 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 do. And there'll be whiskey and maybe a song. Da da da. God damn it. The smell of this isn't going to go away. All right, folks, we're coming up on the end of the stream. I will be streaming again on Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern time before it's bourbon night. Who goes live at some point? 6? Yeah, they go on 8? I can't remember. I'm going live on 6. That's all I know. I don't know what I'll do. I'll probably try whiskeys, or it'll be a hangout stream. Something. It's an excuse to hang out, drink whiskey, and have a good time. Until then, as always, live long and prosper. Don't forget to be awesome. And of course, plancha.